Hi guys, welcome back to the MCM Buzz Stage here in the London XL. I hope you're having a fantastic Sunday. I am, and it's about to get even better because from Arrow and the new show Ninjak versus the Valiant Universe, please welcome Michael Rowe.
Hey, how's it going?
I think they're good. How are you?
I'm good. It's been a crazy weekend.
Yeah, how is it being at the first London Comic Con for you?
Yeah, I love London. I've been here 3 times in the past year, but this time it's been, just in and out. It's been crazy in the best kind of way. It's been gone. It's passed in the blink of an eye. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I had like the no sleep brain the first day here,
right.
So yesterday's kind of a blur. Feels like a little bit of a daydream.
Yeah.
But everybody's been super cool. You got a super cool event with cool people, and that takes care of itself.
Fantastic. Well, I know certainly when you come to the Comic Cons, I always see at least 1 or 2 Deadshots in cosplay. So
have you seen any this weekend? Has anybody seen any? I saw one yesterday.
Yeah, I've seen one. What did you think?
Good job. Wrong costume. He had the red costume on.
Oh.
That's the one you're supposed to wear.
And so obviously we know you as Deadshot on Arrow. And I have to say, last week, catching up on Arrow, I was so surprised to see you return. They kept that quiet.
I know, finally.
You suddenly appeared. Yeah, it's about time.
Yeah, it was really fun seeing. When I read it, I fell for the trick. I thought it was really true.
Real?
And so did David Ramsey, who plays Diggle. And
Oh,
he was
did
like,
he?
man, what the hell? I got the end of the episode, and I was like, that was a hallucination? What a ripoff. But yeah, it was really fun seeing, and I'm glad they kept it quiet, and it could be a real surprise for people to just see me pop up on their screens. They don't usually do that. They usually try to put at least one little teaser in the trailer from the week before, but they kept it nice and quiet this time.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I almost spat out my tea. I couldn't believe when you were back on our screen.
Yes, mission accomplished.
Good. And but it was nice to see you and David Ramsey, Diggle, back together again. How was that reunion?
It was great. I mean, he's just in just about every scene I've ever done on the show.
Yeah.
So we're good friends now, and the buddy cop comedy that it has turned into of me being bad cop, him being good cop kind of thing is. It's really fun to play with him, and everybody understands it now, and the writing is usually really good for those scenes. But we know each other well enough that we usually play around within that too, that a little bit too, a little bit of improving and stuff like that. Instead of like they wrote it so that when he turns around and sees me, he goes, "Get me out of here," and then I go, "Hey, John, long time no see." I did one take where I was like, "Hello, handsome, how are you?" And he just gave me this look. And I thought that would be the one they used, but I guess I didn't like it.
Hopefully they'll put that in the gag reel.
What's that?
Hopefully they'll put it in the blooper reel.
Yeah, a lot of the cool stuff that we do that turns into bloopers has not made it on the DVD yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I've full on killed people in a vicious fashion, and it doesn't make the episode. And I'm like, they'll for sure put that in the deleted scenes.
Yeah.
And nope. No go.
We need to ask for that, guys, right?
Yeah.
We need to get those scenes.
I had an awesome blooper where I hit a cameraman in the neck with a baton that I was supposed to throw at another guy. I thought for sure that would make it in the blooper reel, but it didn't.
Wow. Maybe they just want to do that for health and safety reasons. They
Maybe.
want to show that.
Don't try this at home.
Exactly. But when you're fighting as Deadshot with the patch on the eye, does it impede your abilities a bit?
Absolutely. I have no depth perception. I would have trouble shaking your hand with that eyepatch on. And then I got to go in and fight David Ramsey, who's like 6'4", 280 pounds. I haven't hit him by accident, but I've hit walls and light stands and stuff by accident. It's just really hard to gauge how far away somebody is. I mean, eventually your eye adjusts a little bit, and then you take the eyepatch off, and you got to go through it again because you can't see when you remove it because everything's blurry because you turn your eye back on. Yeah.
Sort of hitting the air a little bit.
Yeah, exactly.
And I heard as well when you first put the Deadshot outfit on, you had a bit of a wardrobe malfunction. Is that right?
The first time I put it on?
Or
The first time I did a stunt scene, I ripped the ass out of my pants. Is that what you're talking about? Yeah, I wasn't in the Deadshot costume. It was just me in my own clothes.
Oh, was it?
But the stunt team was too nice and didn't even mention anything. And I like felt a little breezy back there, and I reached around, and the whole ass was gone out of my pants completely. It was just like underwear hanging out. But the first time I tried on the costume, I had just bought a new truck, and I never had a vehicle with an alarm on it. So something started buzzing on the counter, and I got the full thing on, like wrist gun, red eye, all that stuff.
Yeah.
And I thought somebody's cell phone was buzzing, and I looked, and it was my keychain.
All right.
And so I was like, somebody's breaking into my truck. And I ran out of the building and ran to my truck, not realizing I still had like everything on.
The full Deadshot gear.
Yeah, I saw like a big transport truck driving up the road and realized it just must have been the vibration that set it off. 'Cause it was too. Wait, can you imagine if someone was trying to break into my truck and I went out like that?
I think you would definitely scared him off.
Yeah, definitely.
And I also know that when you were first doing scenes, you mentioned that essentially you were cast before Emily Bett Rickards, who plays Felicity.
Yeah.
But you kind of debuted at the same time, and there's a bit of a story around that.
Yeah, so they were looking for 2 local actors to play Floyd Lawton and Felicity. And so I went in to meet with hair and makeup about what hairstyle we were going to use for Deadshot. And there was a bunch of pictures of people they were thinking about casting as Felicity. And apparently the dilemma was they didn't want anybody that was too, like, how do I put this? I think they wanted that, that girl from the high school movie where she's like, has glasses and she's like very simple and plain, but then you take her glasses off and let her hair down and she's like the hottest girl in school and
like
nobody saw it coming.
Sex kitten kind
Yeah,
of thing?
I think they were looking for that.
Uh-huh.
So they hadn't found it yet. And they were worried that everybody that they had wasn't the right look. And so they were panicking because she was due to film in like a couple of days.
Right.
So they found their girl, obviously.
And being on set with the original Team Arrow, Oliver, Felicity, and obviously Diggle, did you kind of feel the connection and the chemistry that everyone else then saw later on in season 1?
No. To be honest, like, I don't know that. I just, when I saw the episode, I could see that the camera loved Emily. And that the way she was playing the character was really cute and funny and interesting and different. And so I think that everybody on the show recognized that she was like a standout. And so she just evolved from there. And I think it was just the audience wanting to see what would happen if her and Oliver got together on the show. That's kind of what made that happen. I don't know that originally there was any plans at all to have her be anything but just a guest star.
Yeah.
The girl who fixes the computer that Deadshot shoots on his way jumping out the window at the hotel.
Yeah.
So.
And obviously, I mean, the show itself is so popular. It's now just celebrated its 100th episode.
Yeah, I missed that party. I was filming something else. It would have been nice to go to that, but
absolutely.
I don't know. I didn't see it going to 100 episodes when we first did it. I mean, we were working on a pretty low budget in the beginning, and nobody really knew what was going to happen. And it debuted, and it started getting more and more popular, and we were all pleasantly surprised. But yeah.
And obviously, you were playing an assassin, but your character, Deadshot, is actually really popular as well. So when would you say the first time was that you kind of realized that you were a fan favorite?
That's interesting because I really tried to play this guy as a total dick. You know, like I thought I'm just going to start sticking it to everybody, you know, not in a bully kind of way, but he's going to say and do the things that people only think about but don't actually do.
Right.
Just completely remove the filter with this guy.
Yeah.
Because he hates himself, so he doesn't care, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And I was kind of surprised how people appreciated that or respected that, and immediately they started to take to him.
It felt honest.
Yeah, I guess. So it humanized him. It was just sort of a side effect. I didn't really try to do that at all. And maybe that's why it worked. If I tried to do it, it would have been a little desperate or something like that, and people wouldn't have, they would have picked up on it and they wouldn't have gravitated towards him as much.
Yeah. And you've been lucky in that role because you've played the season 1 assassin and then the season 3 Suicide Squad leader who sacrifices himself. You've played the PTSD affected soldier in the flashbacks, and you've been the polar opposite cop in Earth 2 on Flash.
Yeah.
When you read for the role, did you know that it was going to have all these different aspects?
Nah, literally, like when it got shot in the face on that first appearance, it was supposed to be it.
Right, really?
But again, it was the fans that said, "Oh, Deadshot doesn't die that easy. He can't be dead. Are you kidding me?" And so they immediately started to make plans to bring him back. So yeah, I don't know. I don't really believe in luck. I know you said lucky, but I just think that we're all committed on that show and we just work our butts off.
Yeah.
And I like that people like it, but we just try to be in the moment with it on the day. Whatever we're doing, do it the best of our ability. And I like that people appreciate it, and I like that I keep getting a chance to do more of it.
Well, we loved you in the Suicide Squad episodes as well. Absolutely some of my favorites. But now that Diggle's essentially said in the previous episode that you never found Floyd Lawton's body, is there a potential for more of your character and more Suicide Squad episodes?
There's always a chance. There's always a chance. It's such a bizarre universe that we're dealing with here. It's got magic. It's got alternate timelines, alternate Earths. You got time travel, all kinds of flashbacks.
Absolutely.
I feel fairly confident in saying you will see Deadshot's face on that show in some capacity at some point. I just don't know if we'll ever be able to get back to business as usual. We have pretty fancy plans for the Deadshot character.
Yeah.
But once the movie thing happened, that sort of all got reset. It's just business decision. It's the cruel reality of the film industry.
Have you seen the new Suicide Squad movie?
I have.
What did you think?
I was really rooting for that film. I really was interested to see what Will Smith would do with it. Don't know really why they made Deadshot that emotional in the film. I feel like Deadshot as a character throughout all the history of the comic books hides his emotions really well. He does not want to give that stuff up to anybody. So I don't know why they played towards that rather than against that. That's the first thing I was disappointed about. The great thing was I thought he had an awesome costume. I was super jealous when I saw him, you know, all the photos come out about the costume that he got.
Yeah.
Because we always played Arrow like it was a prequel and it was going to build up into the evolution of the characters becoming what they were in the comic books. So on the show, eventually, Deadshot might have got to have a mask or have these things. It didn't last long enough to do that. So, yeah, I don't know whose decision it was, like I said, to sort of play Deadshot that, I'll even say wimpy. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're supposed to have these villains that are doing really bad things and are truly have bad in them. And that's what makes it good. But they were just sort of posturing as villains, but they made them into heroes too quick.
Yeah.
So it wasn't supposed to be a hero movie. I think it should have been R-rated. I think they should have went super dark with the characters. Yeah. So it fell flat for me, unfortunately.
Would you guys have liked to see that, an R-rated Suicide Squad movie? Yeah, there's a lot of nods out there. I think so. And
it just doesn't help them sell action figures and lunchboxes to little kids. Yeah. I understand why they did it. Again, it's the cruel side of the business.
But what would you like, I mean, to see, you know, for Deadshot, say, an Arrow? Because I spoke to Amy Gamenik recently, who plays Cupid. She said that she'd love to see what happened next with Cupid and Deadshot's characters, and maybe it's like a spin-off type thing. Is there a kind of storyline that you would like to see play out?
Man, I got all kinds of storylines I'd like to see play out. Yeah, the Cupid thing, I mean, we played it as though Deadshot wasn't into it, and he just sort of wanted to stick to the mission. And But, yeah, I think maybe he would surrender to her persistency at a certain point, and you can see these two maniacs kind of in a relationship. That would be super fun.
Crazy love, yeah.
But I want to see, now that Diggle's sort of in his downward spiral, I want to see Deadshot drag him to the dark side and have them go on a rampage and have to go against Team Arrow. And, you know, he can kind of do like, you know, the Emperor turning Luke to join his father. Do you know what I mean? That sort of storyline, and really take him on that journey. Yeah. And see what Diggle's fully capable of, going like full crazy.
That would be amazing.
Yeah.
And obviously we have to talk about another assassin that you're playing now for Valiant Comics, Ninjak.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about that and the new series?
Yeah, this is a really fun role to play. Very different than Deadshot. He's mostly hand-to-hand combat. He uses swords, stuff like that. The costume is actually pretty easy to move in. I did a lot of training for these stunts and these fight scenes.
Right,
Started working with a trainer in California who trains UFC fighters, and got in the best shape of my life to do this. And started living in this little apartment in the back behind a garage and a place down by the beach, and was staying up all night. And I kind of got my roommate to do random attacks on me. So I really got a little too into it, to be honest with you, but it was super fun. And we're only 2 episodes in. We still have 4 more to film for the first season.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you're basically playing an MI6 agent who essentially goes rogue and has to fight off different characters from the Valiant universe.
Yep.
Can you say what is happening? Like, what is the sort of...
Yeah, it's kind of like Ninjak is sort of like set up. And so the reality to everybody on the outside can't be revealed by my character or the people involved. So he just needs to go on the run, basically. And these other people who he would normally be allies with, he ends up facing. And it's kind of feels to me like old school kung fu movie. Like most of the story is told through these fights.
Yeah.
You get to know the history that these characters have by very little dialogue, but through these like high action fight scenes.
Wow.
And we're going pretty big with it. Like I just did one against Jason David Frank, who used to be in Power Rangers.
Right.
He's playing Bloodshot. And we did a 1-take shot, like all no cuts, 30 move fight scene.
Wow.
So we're going pretty big with it, and it takes a lot of dedication and a lot of focus to pull that off without anybody getting injured.
Absolutely.
But it's been really fun. I've been up for the challenge. And so yeah, you got this, all these people that he wouldn't normally face. You get to see him face off. Most of them, I don't think he's even fought in the comic books.
Well, would you guys like to have a little look at the trailer of Ninjak versus the Valiant universe? Let's do it.
Or not.
Or not, maybe. Hopefully. Whoa.
Did it work? Did it work like when I gave it to you? Oh, there it is.
Here we go.
Whatever comes through those doors has compromised our most secure level. No in or out. Only fire on my command.
You ready?
Take the shot!
It's time.
You're looking well, Mr. King.
I can't wait to kill you.
Wow, what do you think, guys?
Crazy. That's only like the 3rd
Fantastic.
time I've seen it.
Yeah.
There's a lot going on in that trailer.
There's a lot in there. Can you tell us when we can expect to see the series?
I can't. I really don't know. I know we have we're gonna try to get the last couple episodes in the can as soon as possible. It'll probably be mid to late next year, to be honest with you.
And where would people be able to see it? Do you know?
It's going to be online. It'll probably be free to watch, unless they go, something like Hulu or something like that. But
Okay.
I don't know. I'm trying to be that guy right now. I'm not too caught up in what's going to happen after it. So
Right.
I'm not the right guy to ask that. I wish I knew more, but I don't.
And you premiered it at New York Comic Con. What was the reception like?
Oh, it was way bigger than we even had anticipated. They couldn't fit anybody else in the room, and They had a
Wow.
big giant, like 30-foot Ninjak banner up, and I signed 1,700 autographs and
My
left with
God.
like another 800 people in the lineup.
Wow.
It was crazy. Yeah, so people are excited for it. I don't know that Valiant is here at this convention, but when I started reading their comic books, I fell in love with them. It's just really different than any of the Marvel or DC things that I've read. They're doing their own thing. It's really artistic. The animation in them is great, and the stories are really outside the box stuff. So check it out if you haven't yet.
It'd be amazing. And I think you're doing another movie at the moment as well. with your
Yeah,
brother.
I'm doing a movie called Crown and Anchor. We're filming actually where I grew up on an island called Newfoundland in Canada, on the east coast of Canada.
Right.
It's pretty close to here, actually. But this is something that it's kind of like a passion project that I'm doing. My little brother's making his feature film directing debut. He's the one that got me into acting. He's really talented, and I don't know how we pulled it off, but somebody gave us the cash to make our own film, and it's going really great. It looks fantastic, and it's crazy. So I can't wait for people to see it.
Well, it's brilliant. It sounds like you've got loads going on, and it's fantastic to hear from you. We have to wrap it up now.
Okay.
But one very quick final question.
All right.
Merging your two universes of Arrow and Ninjak, Colin King versus Oliver Queen. Who would win?
Oh, I've never even thought of that. I gotta give. I mean, it's basically arrows versus swords. I'd have to get in close. I think I have the better hand-to-hand moves. He's dedicated his whole life. But, I mean, Oliver was like a spoiled brat who then got stranded on an island and only started studying, like, at 20 years old or something. So I think I got, like, 15 years on him in that capacity.
So we'll give it to Colin King.
Yeah,
then,
I think I got to give it to Colin. But that'd be really interesting.
fun.
Yeah.
Well,
Good
thank
question.
you. Thank you. Really, really great talking to you. Give
You
a
too.
massive round of applause to our guest.
Thank you, guys.
And keep watching for Ninjak. Please give it up for Michael Rowe.
Woo!
And don't forget to keep it here because we have a giveaway and a charity option coming up for you with Sean Kelly and with Jesse McClure. So stay seated and we'll have more very shortly.
Chance to fight. Sign of the times, sign of the times, making up minds and choosing sides.